fencing, furniture, and more. With an anti-fading waterproof shield backed by a lifetime warranty, your project can weather any weather. Guaranteed. Upgrade to Olympic Elite, America's most trusted brand. At the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
If you've hooked up Alexa or OK Google, just say, play 96.9
FM,
The Game.
96.9 The Game. The home of the Knights. WYGM Orlando. WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Woo! Oh, time for open mic.
That is right. We are live, local every morning, 6 to 9:30, right here on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD Radio 101.1-2, or on social media if you want to watch us. Just go to YouTube right now. Search for Open Mic Live Stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can watch us every morning right here. You can watch me, Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog, sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel. You can watch Adam Reardon, the Deceptive Intellect. You can also watch executive producer Kelly Velez, the smooth operator.
That's right. Good morning, folks. Listen, we were just talking off air. I thought it was Friday. Definitely thought it was Friday.
No, it's not Friday.
Well, for some people it is, because a lot of people do have Friday off with the extended weekend, Memorial Day. So happy Friday to y'all if that's true.
Kelly Velez, by the way, going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to see the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays this weekend.
That's right.
The Rays back on the winning track after their 11-game winning streak ended the night before they win last night. So we'll give away a 4-pack of tickets later in the show, probably about 7:26 a.m. this morning, something like that. Anyway, we also have 3 chances for you to win $1,000 on the show today, starting at 7:10 a.m. and then on the 10s throughout the show, 8:10 a.m., 9:10 a.m. We call it the Game Day Payday, presented by International Diamond Center. As always, we like to motivate you with our open mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. This comes from the great Dr. Seuss, who once said, and I quote, "You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go." Deceptive Intellect.
I need a little clarification on whether or not that's a quote or that's just like an inspirational quote. Or that's just a kid's book. That's a kid's book, right?
You can quote a kid's book.
Comes out of one of his books, yeah.
All right. It's pretty simple. I mean, you've got your own mind, you've got your own feet. I can't remember the entire thing verbatim, but essentially,
you have
what he's saying
brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
Yeah, I mean, you are in control of your own destiny. So, use that brain of yours to decide where you want to go, and then use the feet that are in your shoes to take you there.
There you have it. The intellect. Breaking it down. All right, let's start with my Tampa Bay Lightning getting it done last night. Andre Vasilevsky makes 29 saves. My Lightning eliminate the Florida Panthers with a 4-0 win in Game 6 of their Stanley Cup first-round playoff series last night. Give me some highlights.
But you can get a good rebound for your line mate if you hit the far pad.
Center it in front, they score! Pat Maroon on the doorstep! And it's 1-0, it's Tampa Bay! Kucherov hangs on, up top to Evan Stamkos, Montero! Scores! Steven Stamkos rips it! Power play goal, and it's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Nikita Kucherov, high slide for point, cutting in front, holds, shoots! Oh my Lord! Brayden Point! Brayden Point!
What
it's 3-0 Lightning! It's another shutout in an elimination game for Andrei Vasilevsky.
Wow.
Just like in the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6. Tonight, 29 saves. The Lightning beat the Panthers 4-0 in Game 6. They win the series 4-2, and they are on to the second round.
How do you think the Canadian hockey fans, the snobbish Canadian hockey fans feel about the most dominant team in hockey is right here in the state of Florida? The Tampa Bay Lightning looking to become the first team to win consecutive Stanley Cup titles since the Penguins in 2016-2017. You think the Canadians like the Tampa Bay Lightning are dominating their beloved sport, Adam Reardon?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head over the last 20 years. Has there been maybe one Stanley Cup champion from Canada?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Think about it. Think about the Penguins run. You mentioned the Penguins. Heck, they've been dominant forever, and they got bounced from the playoffs. But the Caps won a couple of years ago. Talk about the Lightning.
LA too, right?
I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look it up to see when over the last 20 years, I'm willing to bet less than 3 Stanley Cup champions are from Canada. And you're right. That's their game. They love that game. Imagine if the Toronto Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies, if there was still such a thing, were winning NBA titles all the time, and we're sitting around with our Knicks and our Lakers going, man, this sucks, man. Come on. What about our guys? They're sitting in there with their Canadians and who do they have?
Oilers, the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, even the Oilers. The Oilers like, we came back to Edmonton for this. We can't win a title. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm looking back right now. It's not looking good, folks.
Yeah.
We had Tampa Bay 2020. I'm going to go down from 2020.
When was the last Canadian?
Washington, Pittsburgh. Listen, it's not even on the list. That's how long it's been.
Wow.
I think I think was it Calgary?
It looks like the last one was the Edmonton Oilers in 1990. Actually, Montreal Canadiens 93. I think that's the last time.
Wow.
Did the Flame?
Wow.
It may have been.
I think the Lightning beat the Flames.
That's right. They had Jerome McGinley on that team.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's me flexing. That's me flexing hockey knowledge.
We dominate the sport of hockey right here in the state of Florida. Our basketball last night, though, Velez's Knicks, they win their first playoff game since I think in 8 years, 2013. I think that was the last time they won a playoff game. They tie the series with the Hawks last night behind a good old Derrick Rose rising up last night. Give me a little Derrick Rose from last night.
Rose backs up Collins near the corner. Crossover. Gets free. In the paint. Push shot. It's good. Derrick Rose from the middle of the blue paint. Now at 26. Knicks lead 93-91.
Okay, so the Knicks win that game 101-92 to tie the series. The Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, scores 25 points in his return after that sprained ankle. They beat the Grizzlies 141-129 despite a franchise record 47 playoff points by Ja Morant. But I want to get into this Wizards game, all right? So the 76ers take a 2-0 lead over the Wizards. Ben Simmons had 22 points. The 76ers win 120-95. But the big news coming out of that game was a fan attending Wednesday night's game in Philly dumped popcorn on Russell Westbrook. He gets injured. Do we have the play-by-play of Russell Westbrook getting injured last night?
Absolutely. Let me grab it right here.
Hachimura with it down the court. Westbrook collides with Furkan. And, Westbrook is tripped up. Whistle, foul. Westbrook is down. So Russell Westbrook is hurt over by the Sixers bench. Furkan Korkmaz was there, and Russell landed awkwardly on, I believe, his right foot.
Okay, so he rolls his ankle, so he's limping off the court, all right? He's limping off the court. Play the clip now of the commentator discussing the fan throwing popcorn at him.
Come out and cheer, come out and boo, yell all you want. We encourage that. This is just plain stupidity. Somebody pouring some popcorn, and any athlete, being Westbrook or whomever, they are pumped with their adrenaline. He's probably feeling bad. His team may be en route here to losing this game too.
Okay, so they dumped popcorn on him. Westbrook had to be held back by multiple Wizard staffers. Again, it was bad, all right? Dumping popcorn on an injured player as he's limping off the court. Here was Westbrook after the game, and he was hot.
I was leaving out, and then I just felt popcorn on top of my head, you know. And to be blatantly honest, man, it's getting out of hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah, so again, he went on about it, and the fan was tossed out of the game, all right? So as he should have been, obviously. I just think fans. You guys are gonna call me a fuddy-duddy here, but yeah, as you did yesterday when I said fans should not be allowed to storm the course during golf. This is one of the reasons I don't want fans anywhere near the athletes who are actually competing. All right, and obviously this fan should be I think fans should be tossed out of games, not only for dumping popcorn, for some of the things they say. If you want to boo, that's fine. But the price of a ticket does not give you the right to say anything or do anything you want. It's out of control sometimes, Adam Reardon.
Yeah, no, I mean, I won't go so far as where I think, and I'm pretty sure you're going to go. But the minute you start throwing trash or throwing anything at a player, I don't care if it's popcorn, because there's going to be it's popcorn, baby, big baby. You're now violating that guy's space and being disrespectful. I mean, you know.
What about when you hurl just vile insults? Is that not grounds for being tossed?
No, this will fall under the lines for me. You know, like when Congress is arguing or explicit lyrics in music. You know, I don't know what obscenity is. I just know it when I hear it. You know what I mean? Or something like that. To me, there's a certain line you don't cross with that stuff. I think it's, wives, mothers, children, racial, sexual orientation, but you bleeping suck. You're the worst player I've ever bleeping seen. Blah, blah. The bleeping part doesn't bother me at all.
You're out.
No,
You're out.
Doesn't bother me. I mean, not with professional athletes. At the 12-year-old soccer games, like I see sometimes, those parents should be out for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, we do have a supplemental poll on this. You can go vote on all of our polls at 96.9 The Game. We will continue to talk about this story as the show progresses. Up next, though, Tua has a beard, but he needs to improve by more than a whisker if he wants to win over Miami Dolphins fans. That's next on Open Mic.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah. More Open Mic in minutes.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar
good, and that's on no one else's fault, but my fault. Our play calls were simple when I was in. I didn't have alerts and checks, whereas now, feeling more comfortable, I can kind of maneuver my way, through these things now.
That's Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa saying he didn't necessarily know the playbook very well last year. That's not a good thing to hear. Why weren't you studying harder, Tua? For crying out loud. You were the starting quarterback.
Hey, man, he's in Miami. He was partying. He was having a good time.
Wow. I'm a little bothered by saying, hey, it's on me that I didn't know the playbook as well as I should have. Good Lord.
How do you think his coaches felt, by the way? Oh, really? Explains a lot, Tua.
Well, they're the ones that put him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more upset with them.
Because they drafted him number 5 overall. But Tua also, by the way, sporting a new off-season beard. All right, so he's growing out a beard. Maybe he's trying to be like his idol, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe he'll have a big bushy beard by the time it's all said and done. But, yeah, he's got a new beard. Says he feels 10 times better health-wise. He had his first interview with the media yesterday since last year, actually. So he says he feels 10 times better health-wise. His hip, obviously, which was surgically repaired while he was still in college. He says that feels better. So things looking up for Tua. He knows the playbook better this year. Feels more confident. All of that. All of that. All right, our spontaneous text question.
Spontaneous text question of the day.
In honor of Tua's new beard. All right. Best beards in history. How about that? Can we do that? Best beards in history. It doesn't have to be sports.
Ooh.
But we're a sports show. I mean, you could go Abe Lincoln if you want to. Go Abraham Lincoln. Best beards in history. Text those in 50857. All right. Best beards in who's the best beard? Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick probably does have the best beard in sports right now. Does he not?
His beard is glorious, I must say.
Although I'm not a fan of the new bushy beard style that seems to be all the rage. I'm not a fan of that.
Mike, am I wrong to say this, that people my age and maybe even a smidge older, the first beard or beards plural that popped into my mind was growing up seeing ZZ Top videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
That's what I think about when I think of beard.
Mount Rushmore of beards without question.
Yeah, the long red beards of ZZ Top. Yeah, were they red?
Yeah,
were they sort of? Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, the early days. Now they're probably some weird color that redheads turn.
The music videos.
She's got legs. She knows how to use them.
Yeah, and they're driving that old classic car around. Yeah.
When I first moved to Florida, it was the first time I've seen in person, like the bikers with the long beards. I've always seen them like on TV and stuff. When I came down here, I was like, oh, so this is a thing. This is real.
I like the bikers who have the beards so long that they actually have all these little rubber bands in there.
They braid their beard.
They braid the beard and put little rubber bands in there. They accessorize a couple of bows for some of those bikers that they aren't are secure in themselves and secure in their own masculinity. They'll put a little bow in there.
Think the Hells Angels had any bows in their beards?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Rainbow-colored rubber bands in there.
By the way, I don't like the. It seems the millennials now have the new the bushy beard is in, right? Isn't that sort of an in thing now? The big bushy beard.
I just think that people are bringing out their, just organic beards, and some people like me. When I grow mine out, it gets like that. It gets bushy. Of course, you can do the oils and everything to make it nice, and other people slick it down and all that. But if you just leave it out,
do we like James Harden's beard?
Who?
James Harden's beard looks unkempt to me.
No, that's too unruly for me.
Like around the mouth, like around the mouth, like it kind of like grows in like towards his mouth.
Yeah, usually you shape it up around the lips area and keep it nice and tight. He just lets it grow.
I like a good man. If you're gonna have a beard, have it manicured, well manicured, trimmed up, real nice. That's how I like beards. All right.
I can't grow a beard, so I'm sort of forced into. I've got what I've got. I can't go anything better than this. This is my maximum beard capacity
Was
right
it more
now.
just like chin strapping?
Yeah. I even like shaved it off one time, trying to go a different look, but I didn't like that either.
I've told you guys my favorite sitcom of all time is the old Andy Griffith Show. All right, Andy and Barney, and you can still see it on reruns. Well, Goober, who owned the filling station, all right, he grew a beard once, and everybody in Mayberry was saying made him look smarter. All right, so he got this idea. He was an intellectual now that he'd grown this beard, and he turned into this annoying know-it-all who was like correcting people on whatever they would say and reciting things from history books. So finally they told him to shave his beard so he could quit being annoying. Yeah.
I don't care what kind of beard you have. If your name is Goober, I don't look at you as an intellectual.
Goober?
Hello, Goober.
Goober. Yeah. You remember Goober? Goober.
Is that politically correct today? Could you call somebody a goober?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I still
Goofy
call
goober is the thing, like you said.
I still call when I like to put, buy a bag of peanuts, like, Planters roasted peanuts or salted peanuts at the 7-Eleven, and I'll get a Coke and I'll pour the peanuts inside the Coke. All right. So you get that salty peanuts inside the Coke and you drink it and eat it at the same time. And that, I call that a goober fizz.
Kelly, so you're from up north, right? Now, this to me seems like a southern thing. Did they have that up north?
Well, I'm like, Mike, what are you talking about?
Okay, I didn't think so.
You've never heard of that?
You put salted peanuts in your Coke?
Yeah, because I'm from the South. I've heard of it. I've never, ever tried it. Didn't seem like it'd be
Gotta try it.
And I mean, I'll just take your word for it. It's sort of like if I ever go visit some foreign countries and they're like, here, try the lamb's eyeball. It's delicious. I'm going to be like, no, I'll take your word for it.
That's exactly what it is. Hey, here's some bugs. Oh, no, thank you. Some fried bugs? No, thank you. By the way, not the best, but I'll give it a run for maybe 6th man of the year when it comes to beards. Jim Carrey, when he grew his beard out. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go Google Jim Carrey with a beard right now. Yeah, glorious.
He looks as crazy as sometimes he acts.
Yeah. And also, how you're used to seeing people's faces a certain way, and then when they switch it up, like, oh, okay.
You know who had a great beard? Who was that relief pitcher that played for the San Francisco Giants? He had a little 3-year run there. You know who I'm talking about? I mean, that guy, Brian Wilson, I think is his name. Yeah. Oh my God!
Not the Beach Boy.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Not the Beach Boys. Not the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson. All right, text us in 50857. Straight ahead, does Tom Brady need to change his nickname from TB12 to TB Troll? I'll explain next on Open Mic.
What does Mike
Base hit to right by Manuel Margot. It took 10 innings, but the Rays have beaten the Royals 2-1.
The Rays' 11-game winning streak ended the other night, but now they have started a new winning streak. Actually, it's not a streak yet. They've won one in a row. You just heard it. Manuel Margot hits the run-scoring single in the 10th. The Rays beat the Royals 2-1. The Rays lead the AL East. Here's an interesting stat. The Rays are 12-13 at home, 19-7 on the road. So they're playing better on the road than they are at home, probably because their home games, as Adam Reardon has said before, their home games are usually filled with opposing fans like Yankees and Red Sox fans. So, speaking of Tampa Bay, so it was announced yesterday that the fellow fogies Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson are going to team up for a July 6th exhibition golf match, sort of like we had last summer when we had no sports going on, where Tiger teamed up with Peyton Manning and Phil teamed up with Tom Brady, and Phil and Tom Brady lost. Well, after Phil won the PGA Championship, he said, we have some unsettled business. Well, Brady and Mickelson are going to team up this time. Obviously, Tiger's not playing because he's still recouping from the auto accident. So Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson are going to play a exhibition match with Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. And after that was announced yesterday, Tom Brady is hilarious on social media, by the way. He took to social media, Instagram, Twitter, and began taunting Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. One of the things he wrote, quote, 2 champions against a scientist and a Jeopardy host, making fun of Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau, who's sort of like the mad scientist with his body. 2 champions against a scientist and a Jeopardy host. That's funny. I don't care who you are. Plus, he put up a bunch of memes yesterday. One of them, I don't know how to do this. Adam, you probably know how to do it. It was like one of these customized memes where you can write over a screenshot of something, all right? And the screenshot was that leaked viral video in which Brooks Koepka rolled his eyes at Bryson DeChambeau and cursed in frustration at Bryson DeChambeau during a post-round interview at the PGA Championship. So Brady had that screenshot of Koepka rolling his eyes with the caption, Aaron realizing he has to spend the whole day with Bryson.
That is pretty funny.
I think it's hilarious. DeChambeau, by the way, answered back. He shot back, and he had his own post referencing Deflategate. So these guys are having fun on social media. Phil Mickelson took a jab at Koepka on social media yesterday. He had a quote, talking about standing between, talking about the trash talk that was going on. He goes, I feel like I'm in the middle of something and should step aside, except they want the current PGA champ. And he tweeted that at Brooks Koepka.
Spicy.
And then DeChambeau and Koepka got into it. So Koepka, after all of this went down, Koepka tweeted at Aaron Rodgers, and he tweeted 2 words. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Like, sorry that you have to, play with
Bryson.
Yeah. So DeChambeau responded directly at Koepka. Hey, at B Koepka, it's nice to be living rent-free in your head. End quote. Wow. This is awesome. Isn't it? I love
this is the first time this has ever happened in golf, man. You have everything bleeding onto social media now?
Yeah, listen, and Mike, give Mike another week, and he'll find a reason to hate social media again. But Mike, in this
right now,
moment,
this is funny.
Bask in the sunshine, in the glow, in the ever-giving light that is social media. Okay, enjoy these moments.
I've got a conspiracy theory here. I got my aluminum, my tinfoil hat on.
No, nope.
Here's my conspiracy theory, all right? It is the PGA Tour, as all sports entities right now, or NASCAR's done this. There was a couple years ago, NASCAR told its drivers, "Hey, you guys need to show some personality and start some rivalries." All right, that was the edict from NASCAR. I think the PGA Tour is telling Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, "You guys need to start a rivalry here." I think this is planned.
No way.
I think this is planned.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I first saw the Twitter exchange, it triggered in my mind like, okay, this sounds like some WWE type stuff going on here.
I think
and then you have the leaked viral video. Like, yeah, it was really leaked. Okay.
No, I think it's organic, but I think that what the PGA is recognizing that there's a lot of young people now that because of social media and because of this beef are paying a little attention, and the PGA isn't going to actively try to stop this. They're not going to do like you would do with your kids. Come in here and give each other a hug. Let's fix this, okay? We're a family.
No.
They're going to enjoy this. Remember when NASCAR told their drivers, like, start showing some personality. You guys, you're not robots out here. And then Tony Stewart ran that guy over at a racetrack, and they're like, not that much personality. No.
Yeah, that wasn't a
That's
NASCAR
too much. You've gone
event.
too far.
Yeah, that wasn't a NASCAR event, but yeah, NASCAR did have the edict. Boys, get out there and mix it up. They wanted them to mix it up. I think golf wants their golfers to mix it up now, to start some rivalries, because ratings, throughout sports are down. So rivalries are good for ratings. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, right around the corner, there are a lot of Tebow haters out there. We know that, right? Guess who's not one of them? That's right. Trevor loves Timmy. We'll talk about that next on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game, FM, HD, online at 96.9.
and Sidney LaRue is there to pounce. Kelly Hubley with the error at the back. And LaRue scored for a second match running. And Orlando have their lead back inside of 20 seconds.
We've been waiting for this, the 1-2 combination of Alex Morgan and Sidney LaRue for the Orlando Pride. They win again last night, 2-1 over Portland. So good for the Orlando Pride. They're off to a great start. Alex Morgan has scored, what has she scored in 3 straight matches now?
Right.
Sidney LaRue and Alex Morgan have both scored in back-to-back matches. So, again, early season for the Pride, but they've gotten 2 really good victories thus far. They beat the North Carolina Courage, which has been the best team in the league over the last couple of years. So the Pride off to a great start, as is Orlando City. Our spontaneous text question of the day is in honor of Tua Tagovailoa's new beard, best beards in history. Somebody just texted in David Letterman. Again, I'm not a big fan of David Letterman's Santa Claus beard. I don't like the big, bushy, unruly beards.
I think that's one of those that I mentioned earlier. You're so used to seeing him some way, so when he retired and the beard grew out, everybody was like, okay, new look, I like it.
Yeah. Santa Claus, somebody texted in, of course, as the dude from the Zac Brown band.
I think we all know who that is. Don't know his name, but we all know.
Yeah. Zac Brown.
Be Zac Brown. All right, keep those coming in, 50857. We talked about this story earlier in the week, but there's sort of some new developments here. So a few days ago, Julio Jones went on Undisputed with Shannon Sharp, and I think Skip Bayless was on that day, but it was mainly with Shannon Sharp who called Julio Jones and, got him on Undisputed, but without Julio Jones' knowledge. He didn't know he was on live TV, and actually, was it live TV or did they record it? Whatever. But he was on TV and he didn't know it, and that's when Shannon Sharp. Do we still have that clip, by the way? Can you find that, Kelly, so we can put this into some context?
Sure.
So let's find that clip because there's some new developments in that. So Julio Jones unknowingly was on FS1's Undisputed, and that's when he said, "I'm out of there," talking about Atlanta. I want to go someplace where I want to win. So again, if he'd known he was on live TV, nobody would have a problem with that because everybody knows he wants out, and everybody knows he probably wants to go to a place that wins. All right, here was the exchange the other day.
What's going on, bro?
Man, nothing much. About to go meet up with my brother. What's happening with you?
Man, look, you want to go to the Cowboys, Julio, or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh, man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
You out?
He's out of there.
Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now, I want to win.
Okay. Dallas. We don't go to Dallas. If you go, you ain't winning in Dallas, Julio.
Man, listen, come on, man. You already know I know.
Okay.
Can you remind him we're on television?
Ask him why wore the Dallas.
Listen. You know how people is, man, with all that going on with the picture.
Yeah.
And all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Man, I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's good enough. Yeah. Julio, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling me back. We on air, but I appreciate you calling me, dog.
We on air. He tells him at the end, and you heard somebody say, should we remind him that he's on live television? Yeah, you should have. In fact, I'm reading a story, Front Office Sports. There's potentially a legal issue here. California, where Undisputed is taped, is a two-party consent state, which means both Jones and Sharp would have had to have had knowledge the call was being aired and recorded. And I don't think Julio Jones knew. Has Julio Jones, from what I've seen, he's not come out and said anything. All right?
And Adam,
So
I think
again-
it was Adam who was the one that brought that up when we first talked about the story as well.
Yeah, and the call may have damaged Atlanta's ability to get a fair price for Jones in a trade. Quote from ex-Green Bay Packers Vice President Andrew Brandt to Front Office Sports. The Falcons are not happy with this. Payback's too strong a word, but they will hope for some kind of stroke down the road, whatever that means.
What?
So, I don't know what he's talking about there. I think he's talking about from Fox, because Fox is the one who airs this, and Fox, of course, is a partner with the NFL. So, again, that was shady. That was shady what they did. It really was. And illegal, by the way, if in fact Julio Jones didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's somebody who knew about it. Shannon Sharp clearly doesn't know about the two-party consent, laws in broadcasting.
Yeah, but
I only knew because when I first started in radio, we were doing morning radio. I really wanted to do some of these like morning prank calls, right? And my boss, who was from New York at the time, says you can't do that down here. And I said, "What are you talking about? You can't do that? I hear it all the time." He goes, "Yeah, because those are shows that are originated in states that only have one-party consent laws. So basically, the person doing the prank knows about it, and that's plenty.
Right.
But in Florida, and then obviously, as we know now, California, both people have to know that they are being put on the air. Now, clearly, when somebody calls, they know they're being put on the air because they're calling us. So you don't have to get their permission to broadcast their stuff. So,
Kelly, see if you can find anything whether Julio Jones has come out and said whether he knew, because I haven't seen anything.
Don't you think he would have come out by now and said he didn't know if he didn't? Don't you think that at some point somebody would have encouraged him to get out there in front of this and go, hey, obviously I didn't know that I was going to be on the air. My emotions, I was being a little raw there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But it sounds like he's pretty good friends with Shannon Sharp. Maybe he doesn't want to get Shannon Sharp in trouble. This
reminded me of the Dave Chappelle skit, When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
When keeping it real
goes wrong.
I've got something here from, Sporting News I found. It's still uncertain whether Julio Jones knew he was being recorded Monday. According to multiple reports, however, neither he nor the Falcons was aware the call was being recorded live on national television, creating a, quote, stink bomb between the Atlanta organization and Fox Sports.
Yeah, I think for Julio, though, I bet you for him, he's like, yeah, I said it. I didn't know I was being recorded, but I don't regret saying it because that's how I feel. And if it was a major problem between Julio and Shannon, at least at this part, if Julio felt duped by Shannon, I think Shannon would have come out on the air and apologized, that, hey, I'm sorry, man. I used my airtime, and I didn't let my friend know. And for that, I don't even think he's never tweeted that. So
no,
I'm sure that he and Julio have had words since then, or at least discussed this.
Or again, I told you about my conspiracy theory with Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, or maybe they talked before the call and it was all set up because Julio did want this out, right?
Well, Shannon did say, you remember the clip, he says, thanks for calling me back.
Mm-hmm.
So that means Shannon did call him, probably left him a voicemail like, hey, man, we're on the air here. We're trying to find out if you're trying to go to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a part of this either, but you go to Julio Jones's Twitter, protected. It's private.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay. There you have it.
What's going on?
All right. So, all right, let's pause right now for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback, he spoke to the media yesterday for the first time since OTA started. And what do you think the big topic was with the media, Adam Reardon?
I'm sure, the transition from him being a great high school to college to NFL. Him never losing a regular season game in his career as a quarterback.
His hair.
His hair.
Playing for Urban Meyer, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They probably wanted to talk about a guy who's never played tight end his entire life, getting an opportunity after 8 years out of the NFL.
Bingo. That was the major topic. That created the headlines yesterday. It wasn't, hey, Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, how are they? No, it was, what does Trevor Lawrence think about Tim Tebow being on the team? And here's what Trevor Lawrence said. Hello.
Trevor Lawrence is, I'm trying to remember what Trevor Lawrence is. I think we've got it now. The computer is a little goofy.
He looks great. You can tell he's just a guy that you want to be around. Character is awesome. Just had a few conversations with him, and I can already tell. And then just a hard worker. No one's going to work harder than him. And those are the kind of guys you want in your locker room that you want to be around every day. So, and then I'm excited to see what he does on the field as well. We've got a few days, and he looks great. He's in awesome shape.
Okay, so he said that. He also said this.
I had never met Tim until last week, so I didn't really know him, but I was intrigued by, like you said, his character, his work ethic, and kind of what he's been able to do through his life on the field, off the field. All those things are really interesting. So I was excited to meet him, and then when it was official, I saw him in the locker room and had a few good conversations, and I really like him.
There you have it. Trevor loves Timmy. Or are you buying that, Adam Reardon, being the Tebow basher that you are?
Well, what do you want him to say? Like these are things like there is a. I'm sure Tebow's a nice guy. I'm almost positive. Well, I don't know that. I've never really met and sat down and had conversation with him. So, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Okay.
All right. I
don't think he needs your benefit of the doubt when it comes to him being a nice guy.
I don't know 100%, so I can't speak on that. I'm just giving. Okay. I would give him the benefit of the doubt. If they
can we tweet that out? Can we tweet that out, Kelly? That Adam Reardon is giving Tim Tebow the benefit of the doubt about being a good guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. There you go. I think it's the least I can do. Literally, the least I can do. What if the follow-up question was, have you met Urban Meyer's son? What do you think about him? Even if Urban Meyer's son was like running around in the locker room, just being
creating
nuisance.
a distraction.
Yeah. What do you think he would say? What do you think he would say?
Urban Meyer's son's that age anymore. No, I think he's like in his 20s now.
I don't know if you remember Urban Meyer's son when he was at Florida running. I remember being at one of those coaches shows inside like a Beef O'Brady's, and here comes Urban, late by the way, with his kid in tow, and then the kid's like just like demanding stuff the whole time. It was Nate, I think was his name. I was like, he's 12. I got 12-year-olds who demand stuff all the time too. But if you asked Trevor Lawrence about it, right there, he'd say, "Oh man, what a great kid, man! Kid's got me cracking up every day." And no, listen. What do you want? What do you want Trevor Lawrence to say when you ask about Tim
Tebow?
I hate him,
guy.
Listen, Trevor, what do you think about Tim Tebow? Well, I was raised by a Christian family, so you're not gonna get me to say anything bad about Tebow. I can promise you that, just in case he is closer to the top than I am. Okay, I want the pass inside the pearly gates.
So you're thinking Trevor Lawrence is really thinking what he wants to say is, well, he's kind of a distraction. This is supposed to be my team and my time. All right.
I'm excited to get up here and address the media for the first time in Jacksonville as the future franchise quarterback and talk about a guy who's never played this position and hasn't been in the league for 8 years. Thank you for allowing me to be here, Jacksonville. Thank you.
I actually think Trevor Lawrence means it. And here's why. All right. Because as I've said before, these guys like Trevor Lawrence, they probably, and I don't know if he said this or not yesterday. It's certainly not in the clips that we have, but he probably grew up idolizing a guy like Tim Tebow. All right, being Tim Tebow obviously was a college football legend, not so much in the NFL. We know that. All right, and again, I don't know Trevor Lawrence's what's his religious affiliation? Is he a strong Christian? I don't know.
No, he's from Georgia. So
that means
I'll give the benefit of the doubt. He's a Baptist. I'm just going to roll the dice on that one.
But there are a lot of athletes who are strong Christians. I think they look up to Tebow. And I think Trevor Lawrence is probably one of those guys who grew up idolizing Tebow when Tebow was in college and probably likes having him on the team. Thinks he can learn something from him as far as he just said, work ethic, character, all that sort of thing that athletes talk about.
But that was the part of the answer that bothers me the most. Is like that canned answer. This part of the canned answer, which is, I'm going to tell you what I think you guys want to hear. Nobody's going to work harder than him.
Mm-hmm.
How many guys are invited to camp?
9. Where there's 90 on the 90 on the training camp.
Let me ask you this:
roster.
Do you think that there's a guy there who doesn't have the financial fallback that Tim Tebow has? That has 2 to 3 kids that he's looking to support, looking to chase his dream as well. You don't think that guy's going to work as hard as Tim Tebow? I hate
maybe harder,
but not according to Trevor Lawrence, and not according to whenever somebody says something like that. That tells me right there that you're not being 100% because you don't know that. You don't know that. No, well, we know nobody's going to work harder. You do. You know that there's nobody else in that locker room that their dream to play in this league. Coming from Appalachian State doesn't surpass the dream that Tim Tebow has to give it one last shot at tight end. That's the part of the answer to me.
He's saying that nobody is going to work harder. He didn't say Tebow works harder. If you're working your hardest, doesn't that mean that nobody can work harder?
But also, maybe it's him. He's seeing all the backlash that Tim is getting, and this is his way of supporting him being in the locker room.
No, I know. Listen again. I just think that there's no real way to answer that question.
Right.
I just think there's no, and frankly, it's a little unfair to the guy. As we sort of joked around about it. Hey, this is Trevor Lawrence, our new franchise quarterback. Everybody, welcome Trevor Lawrence. Trevor. What about Tim Tebow? What the hell are you talking about? I am what Tim Tebow was 10 years ago. That to me is like
except better.
Except for actually a really good quarterback. I bet you he goes home tonight and tells his brand new wife, he's like, you're not going to believe what these clowns asked me the first thing right out of the gate about this guy.
Well, I don't know. I'm betting it wasn't the first question. It just got most of the headline. I would hope that they didn't come right out of the box with, what do you think about Tim Tebow?
I guess it would depend on like who got the microphone first. Like, okay, and we're looking around. All right, Trevor, your first question is from Franz Beard. Franz, go ahead.
Yes, Franz Beard would definitely ask that question. I don't think Gene Fournette, our good friend from the Times Union, he would not ask that. He's one of those who doesn't like all of the Tebow hype and all of that.
I feel like this is one of those situations that, I feel like we all think that he has a different feeling, but he says something different to the media just to get them off his back. But I feel like this is one of those things, fast forward a couple years down the road, maybe he's on a podcast, something like that. Somebody asks him, hey, when you first came to Jacksonville, remember those good remarks you had for Tim Tebow? How did you really feel?
3 years down the line, if he's already made 2 Pro Bowls and they've made the playoffs and Tim Tebow, has since retired 2 years ago, like he's like, yeah, dude, it was really it was kind of weird because I came in, I was ready to like lead the team, and they're talking like the leader is the third string, fourth string quarterback who's never played tight end that's never played. It was weird.
I totally disagree. I do think he likes having Tebow on the team because I think he looks up to Tebow. I think a lot of athletes look up to Tebow, especially young athletes.
You think they should sign his dad too? I'm sure he looks up to his dad.
His
dad's the backup kicker now. I look up to my father.
But Tebow's played the game. Bob Tebow, I don't know, did Bob Tebow ever play the game?
I meant Trevor Lawrence's dad. I like having Tim on the team. I look up to him. Yeah, you know who else I looked up? I looked up to Chuck Norris as a kid. I don't want him on my football team.
Well, again, those are apples and oranges. You can joke all you want. I think Trevor Lawrence is telling the truth, but we want to know what you think. All right, we do have a supplemental poll on this. Do you believe Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence when he says he's excited to have Tim Tebow on the team? You can go vote on that poll and all of our other polls at 96.9 The Game on Twitter. Before we get to the sound off, I want to get your take on this real quick. So, one of Japan's major newspapers yesterday called for the Tokyo Olympics, which is going to be held in, what are we, like 5 weeks away?
This summer, yeah. It's right around the corner.
So one of Japan's major newspapers, in fact, it might be the biggest newspaper in Japan, has written an editorial calling for the games to be canceled. It's the first of Japan's major newspapers to write such an editorial. This comes on the heels of a 6,000-member doctors organization called the Tokyo Medical Practitioners Association, which has also called for the Olympics to be canceled. What do you think's going to happen here? I think there's been surveys in Japan where 80% of the populace think that the game should be canceled. Aren't they going to have to cancel this? I think they are.
I believe, Greg Sankey has written into the Tokyo Olympics and said, "Are you kidding me? Fill those stadiums, baby. Fill them up."
Well, yeah. I mean, the International Olympic Committee, obviously, which stands to make billions by by televising the Olympics, they're just ramrodding these games right down Japan's throat, is what they're doing. They're saying, no, we're not canceling. We've spent a bunch of money on this. Japan, by the way, as a country, has spent $15.4 billion to organize the Olympics. And some people think that figure is low. So essentially, it sounds like the IOC, which stands to make a bunch of money from the Olympics, and Japan's government, which has already spent a bunch of money on the Olympics, are saying, hold on here. We're not going to waste all this money by canceling the Olympics. We don't care if there's a pandemic in our country or not.
Imagine that. People putting money in front of morals.
Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah, absolutely. LeBron approves of this message.
Every athlete,
LeBron
every business
and
person.
John Cena approve of this message. Yeah. So anyway, I think they might have to cancel it though. When you've got like major media outlets and doctors organizations and the general populace saying cancel the Olympics, again, it seems like they're going to have to do something or come out with a strong statement one way or the other in the next few days.
They could just move it to the United States. I mean, we're opening up everything. It's all good over here.
I think we should move it to ESPN's Wide World of Sports. We got a bubble out there.
There we go.
We can get it done.
Track and field events at Lyman High School.
Absolutely. All right around the corner, it's Sound Off, where we will react to the quotable quotes from the newsmakers throughout sports. That's next on Open Mic.
Now, here's your chance
It is time for Sound Off. Hello. Kelly Velez, are you there? Sound off. Sound off. Sound off.
We're working on it, man.
Sound off. Sound off. I had never met Tim until last week, so I didn't really know him, but I was intrigued by, like you said, his character, his work ethic, and kind of what he's been able to do through his life on the field, off the field. All those things are really interesting.
Skip this one. We already talked about it. We've talked enough about Tebow. We've talked enough about him.
Enough Tebow?
Yeah, we've talked enough about Tebow.
Okay,
we just talked about it.
Okay, let's go.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
It's Adam Vinatieri on Pat McAfee's show the other day, just being a guest out of nowhere, announcing his retirement, Mike.
Yeah. Is he the greatest clutch kicker? Yeah, he's the greatest clutch kicker of all time. I mean, he made the field goal during was it the Tuck rule? Was that where he made a name for himself?
That was the first. That was the first one, and then he kicked a game winner in the Super Bowl too. I mean, at least one.
Yeah, Adam Vinatieri, again, 3-time Pro Bowler, so many clutch kicks. I think I read somewhere where he made 29 game-winning kicks in his career, 3 of them coming for the Patriots. The blizzard conditions against Oakland, that was the Tuck Rule game in 2001. No kicker has more Super Bowl rings than Vinatieri. He's got 4. 3 with the Patriots, 1 with the Colts. So, yeah, as far as kickers retiring, this is about as big as it gets. Adam Vinatieri.
Sound off. Sound off. Unfortunately, I was leaving out, and then I just seen popcorn on top of my head, and to be blatantly honest, man, it's getting out of hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do. It's out of pocket, man.
It's Russell Westbrook. After the game last night, he injures his ankle in the fourth quarter. He's leaving, and then a fan throws popcorn on his head. Adam, do the fans have too much freedom at these sporting events?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not against.
Says the guys who want to allow fans to run on the course and envelop golfers and storm the
if they
field.
Don't violate,
If you're not attacking them.
Yeah, it's just when a bunch of drunken fans actually being able to have physical contact with the players instead of just dumping popcorn on them.
Listen, I blame the NBA because this could have been fixed a long time ago. If you guys remember the Malice at the Palace?
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
If everybody just stands back and lets Ron Artest and Steven Jackson beat the bejesus out of the fans that threw stuff on them, and then
although Ron Artest started beating, he started beating up the wrong guy.
That guy's like, no, it's that guy right there. But listen, if you let that happen once, if you let Russell Westbrook, instead of holding Russell Westbrook back, you grab the guy who dumps the popcorn and you bring him out in front of Russell Westbrook and you make that guy fight him off. You know what I mean? Then I think other fans got that popcorn next week and go, no, I'm not, because if I have to fight Russell Westbrook over this, I ain't doing it, okay? So
I've always said that the Malice of the Palace, I don't think Ron Artest was in the wrong there. If somebody dumps the beer on me, I'm going after him.
Yeah,
I'm going after him.
There's no question. And again, the NBA is trying to protect its players and its image financially, obviously. But once you violate somebody's personal space like that in a malicious manner, then to me that's different. And so and Russell Westbrook, I don't know why he's not liked, more than he is, but he's sort of disliked by fans everywhere. I don't know if he's kind of a cry. I don't know what the deal is.
Which is weird because the guy's not into load management. He plays hard every night. He gives his all. He is everything fans say they want.
But for some reason, he's been the target of opposing fans wherever they. And sometimes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Because he's a great player, but he gets a lot, and clearly that was across the line for me last night.
Yeah, I think a couple things. The big one's getting everybody to buy in. You go from dealing with 18 to 20-year-old kids, and in college football, you're Urban Meyer. You're this, you're big persona. And really you got a lot of control over these kids, and they're at a pivotal age, and really you can really kind of dictate a lot. It's not like that in the NFL, no, that guy's signed on for 5 years, so
148 million.
Hey, that guy's 33, grown, 12-year vet with 3 kids. You are going to handle guys differently. I don't think that's going to be a problem for Urban. So I think he's dealt with those personalities, and I think he'll be fine with that. I think guys want to buy in. It's Jacksonville. They were 1-15. Guys want to win. They want to be a part of the change.
Right.
Alex Smith sitting down with Colin Cowherd talking about the whole Urban Meyer situation. Mike, what you thinking?
I totally agree with Alex Smith. And Alex Smith played for Urban Meyer when he was in college at Utah, became a number 1 overall draft pick. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think Urban Meyer is going to be a hell of an NFL coach because he has some sort of psychology about him, and I don't know where he got it from, all right? But he convinces players, as Alex Smith just said, to buy in. It doesn't matter what the player's background is, whether it's Tim Tebow or Aaron Hernandez. Doesn't matter the what type of athlete it is. He knows how to get them to play for him and motivate him. He also knows how to motivate his coaches. I think Urban Meyer is going to be a success in the NFL.
Sound off. It's inexcusable. It's absolutely I think.
What do you mean?
How they ever got to this point. Aaron's been there 16 years, what he's given to that organization and been there. And for them, I think to what happened last year during the draft, and I haven't talked to Aaron about this, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, but clearly to watch the interview and him talk about it's about the people. And it is, and Aaron's been there that long, and I don't think it was the fact that they drafted Jordan Love in the first round. I think it's the fact that how do you have a guy like Aaron and you don't go make sure beforehand, you aren't going out of your way to make sure that he knows that he's loved, that they want him there, that we may be taking a quarterback in the first round. We want to make sure you're okay with it. This is maybe what we're doing. We're thinking. How you haven't treated him the right way leading up to that, and to the fact that, from my understanding, it's kind of like it was a bit of an unknown, a bit blindsided.
Alex Smith continues to talk on the same show with Colin Cowherd about the whole AR-12 situation, saying exactly all the things that we've been saying this whole time, Adam.
Yeah, look, the old school, who was it? Was it Terry Bradshaw that called him like a prima donna, a baby or something like that? Yeah. That's because Terry Bradshaw grew up in a time where, it wasn't a huge business. It was business. There's no question about it.
And plus, he grew up in a time where the players had no power.
No power at all. That's what I'm saying. It's a different time. And that's why players who have recently been in the league, like Alex Smith there, understand sort of the changes of the NFL when it comes to organizations and its star players. This isn't just some quarterback. Mm-hmm. All right? This is arguably the best quarterback in your franchise's history. You could there's a few other guys that would lay claim to that, but it's certainly right now. And to not even bring it up to him, or not even say, hey, listen, we're going to bring a guy in, you've got 3 more years. We know that. So don't, but we got to, as an organization, do something for the future. And then they trade up to get him too. So it really looks like they were wanting to get him, and he had no idea. Felt a little disrespectful, and I think that Aaron Rodgers just wants to be respected. And you could say, hey, look at your contract. You're more than respected. But there's something beyond money. Anybody who works in a workplace can get paid whatever it is. But if they don't feel like their employer or their bosses respect them, they lose respect for those bosses, regardless of what their paycheck says. So that's, I think, what's happened in Green Bay. And at this point, it doesn't feel like either side is willing to budge, and we're heading for a standoff before the season starts.
Sound off. And that's the sound off for today, ladies and gentlemen, which means it's time for We're giving away some tickets. I don't know what's going on over here. But listen, y'all, if you want some of these tickets, man, we have a 4-pack of Rays tickets right now for Saturday's game going on against the Phillies, okay? It's going down once again, the 4-pack for Saturday's game versus the Phillies. Give us a call right now, 407-916-8525, all right, right now. 8255, pardon me. Give us a call right now if you want these tickets to go see the Rays and the Phillies. Mike, let them know what's coming up.
407-916-8255. If you want those tickets, straight ahead, I have a college football topic I want to get to. That's next on Open Mic.
May I have your attention, please? We have your chance to get paid with the Game Day Payday on FM 96.9 The Game. FM 96.9 Game of the Week as the Rays take on Major League Baseball's best teams.
Reardon, I think I told you this a few days ago. Your boy Chris Doering, University of Florida, wide receiving great, former NFL player, played for Steve Spurrier with the Gators back in the 90s. So he and some other people are working on a new college football award, all right? And it's going to have Steve Spurrier's name on it, all right? And it's going to be... I don't know exactly I don't know exactly what they're going to call it. The Steve Spurrier, first year coach award. All right. And, because Spurrier had such great success at Florida in his first year in 1990. I think he had great success at South Carolina in his first year there as well. So the award is going to honor first year college football coaches. All right. And so I've got a list of first-year coaches right here, all right? And they're hoping to get this award started this coming football season. I think the Orlando Touchdown Club, they're talking to them about being maybe the presenting sponsor of the award, so they'll, hopefully we'll have the big banquet right here in Orlando. And so here are some of the first-year coaches for this award. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, tell me who you think's going to win the inaugural Steve Spurrier First-Year College Coach of the Year award. All right, let's start with a coach we're very familiar with, Gus Malzahn, UCF. All right, then let's go to another coach we're very familiar with, Josh Heupel, Tennessee. All right, so write these down because I want your opinion. Brian Harsin of Auburn, Steve Sarkisian of Texas, Brett Bielema, Illinois. I'm not even going to put in Lance Leopold from Kansas, all right, because Kansas isn't going to win anything. Jed Fish, Arizona, former Miami Hurricanes offensive coordinator. Where else was Jed Fish?
Oh, he's been in the NFL for...
Was he with the Jaguars?
He was with the Jags for a little bit, and then I think the Seahawks as well.
Shane Beamer, South Carolina. Who else? Who else is? We'll throw in Andy Avalos, Boise State. All right, we'll throw him in. All right, of those coaches, who's going to win the Steve Spurrier First Year Coach of the Year award?
I think the two that are at the programs that have the best chance for success, both in their conference and then with national attention, would be Gus Malzahn at UCF and Steve Sarkisian at Texas.
Yeah, although I just don't know how good Texas is going to be. I agree with you about Gus Malzahn. I might go... Because Gus Malzahn didn't exactly leave Auburn in shambles, all right? Auburn had a winning record last year. Auburn does have a quarterback who returns, even though he didn't play that well last year, and Bo Nix. I'm going to go Brian Harsin of Auburn and Gus Malzahn of UCF.
Yeah, I mean, and Harsin can definitely be in that mix because you're right. I mean, they do return their starting quarterback. I just think that Texas, at a place like Texas, man, if you get it right, it can be so right. Sort of like when Spurrier came to Florida. Didn't he always refer to Florida as a sleeping giant, or people referred to Florida as a sleeping? If you get it right at a big school in the state of Florida, as far as recruiting is concerned, and then turning that into success in the college football ranks. I mean, Texas is that job. Texas is everything we thought, the reasons why we thought Tom Herman was going to be successful there, or it was that Charlie Strong before him. Yeah. It's like It's like it's just waiting for the right guy. Matter of fact, wasn't Urban Meyer there was like a rumor Urban Meyer's wife was looking for property in Austin? Yeah. Because everybody
thought they were trying to get Urban Meyer supposedly. And Urban Meyer wasn't interested.
But because that's the kind of job that if you get the right fit, if you get the right guy, that the sky's really the limit at Texas. Because I'll tell you one thing for sure. You won't have to sheepishly ask for money from your athletic director for anything.
No, they got one of those faucets there, like the SEC AD.
They got oil faucets. They got more than a faucet. They've got rigs. Okay,
black gold,
that's
Texas tees. Yeah. So Spurrier, when he came to Florida, all right, he tells the story. All right, first year coach. All right, so there was some big booster at Florida at the time. Who's the baseball stadium named after it? Florida? Is it
McKeithen? Yep.
Yeah. So that's the guy. I think the guy's name was Alfred McKeithen. All right. So when they hired Spurrier has a meeting with this big booster, Alfred McKeithen, and he goes, Steve, he goes, in 2 or 3 years, we're going to expect you to win. We're going to expect you to win here in 2 or 3 years. And, that's when we're going to really be judging how good a coach you are is in 2 or 3 years. And Spurrier says he looked at the guy and he goes, Mr. McKeithen, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to win big this year. We're going to win big this year. We got everything in place to win big this year. Spurrier was I still remember in 1990, during that season, Spurrier would laud the former coach Galen Hall. He'd say, Galen Hall left me a team here. So, again, that's why Spurrier is one of these coaches I love. He doesn't want 3 or 4 years to try to win, or 2 or 3 years. He wants to come in and win immediately. And I think that's why this award is going to be named after him.
Galen Hall left him such a team there that he could afford to lose Emmitt Smith.
That's right.
So much talent here. We don't need this guy.
Yes.
Move along, fella. Move along.
Yeah, but we're not going to be handing the ball off to you as much as Whitey Jordan did when he was the offensive coordinator, right?
That 3 yards in a cloud of dust stuff. Not my SEC.
Yeah. All right, straight ahead, my Tampa Bay Lightning get it done, and we had some NBA action last night that we're going to break it all down, and the blast coming your way as well on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game, FM, HD, online at 969thegame.com, on your phone with the iHeartRadio app, and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos, an iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Eastbound I-4 is slow traffic from US 27 past Osceola Polk Line Road, from Conway Road to Orange Blossom Trail, and from the 408 into Robinson Street. Westbound I-4 has an accident on the left shoulder just past Dirksen Drive, and slow traffic from Maitland Boulevard to Lee Road. There's a wreck on Forest City Road at Kennedy Boulevard. And if you see traffic problems, call the SafeTouchSecurity.com traffic tip line at 866-676-8477 from the Traffic Center on Daisy Ash.
Get personalized loan options, closing costs, and tax estimates all in real time. When you need your mortgage to fit your family and budget, Rocket can. When you want the ability to adjust your loan options in real time, Rocket can. Rocket Mortgage.
This hour on 96.9 The Game is powered by Tools Ace Hardware, toolsacehardware.com.
Kick off a winning Memorial Day celebration on Monday, May 31st when you play High Hand Champion in the poker room at Daytona Beach or Orange City Racing and Card Club. There's 3 chances to win every hour from 10 a.m. to midnight in Daytona Beach or Orange City. The winning first place champ wins $750. Second place wins $500. And third, $250. Monday, Memorial Day, May 31st at Orange City Racing and Card Club just off I-4 exit 111B on Saxon Boulevard. Orlando's closest poker room.
Inspired by State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
It's so cheap, yeah, got a great rate on the down low, 'cause Jake isn't your average Joe.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You ever lie awake at night, can't sleep, not wanting to see what time it is, because that's just going to keep you up? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended-release melatonin helps you fall asleep naturally and then slowly releases so you stay asleep longer through the night. It's non-habit-forming with no next-day grogginess. ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night, so you can fall asleep and stay asleep. Available at retailers near you.
Sunnyside Air Conditioning.
My central air is on its last legs. I need a new system.
To leave us a 5-star review, press 1.
You haven't even done anything yet.
For all other inquiries, press 2.
Frustrating.
Fine. For AC replacement, press...
Press what?
Give me a second. We're changing our outgoing message again.
What?
I'll just take you back to the main menu. You probably can't keep up.
Why didn't I just call Frank Gay?
Yes, why indeed?
Thought maybe I'd save a few...
Well, you get what you pay for. Now, what's it going to be? Main menu? Call back tomorrow. Give up completely.
I'm calling Frank Gay.
When you need AC replacement, you need it done right. A live operator to take your call. A licensed, trained technician ready to roll. And your new system installed fast. That's the Frank Gay way.
Don't forget to leave a 5-star review for our outgoing message.
That's the Frank Gay way. FrankGayServices.com.
Turn off your laptop. We're on vacation.
It's a staycation. You haven't left the backyard.
But we said no work.
I'm on TotalWine.com. They have so many rosés and pinots.
Oh.
Let's make this a tropical vacation. Do you want tequila or rum?
Well, both. Oh, get a Prosecco. And I'd love more of those craft wheat beers.
It's a good thing Total Wine has low prices.
Wondrous selection, helpful guides, ridiculously low prices. Total Wine and more. Discover new flavors to make this summer even more fun at TotalWine.com.
If you've got a personal auto insurance question, you could talk to a cab driver, although the policies he recommends might include avoiding the interstate, beating traffic by taking the back roads, and only making left turns when absolutely necessary. Or you could talk to your local Geico agent, whose policy is to use their expertise to navigate your insurance, finding the best route to help you save money on insurance for your home, car, and more. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to avoid traffic jams and potholes entirely. To find a Geico agent near you, visit geico.com/local.
This is an In the Zone promo.
Give me a hell yeah!
Anthony Davis cannot be your leader. He's got to have a ton of articles written about him, calling him soft, and LeBron James needs to give him the cold shoulder silent treatment. Otherwise, he can't wake up. He can be your best player on the floor, but he can't be the leader of your locker room.
In the Zone with Brandon Kravitz. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on FM 96.9 The Game.
Memorial Day weekend marks the unofficial start of summer 2021. Whether you're headed back to the beach, barbecuing in the backyard, or doing some serious retail therapy, the free iHeart app has your soundtrack for your long weekend. We're throwing out the commercials and counting them down on great original stations like Fly Nation, iHeart Country, iHeart 90s, and Smells Like the 90s Radio. Or slip into a summer podcast binge while you soak up the sun. Whatever you got planned, we got the stations, playlists, and podcasts. The free iHeart app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
We have your chance to win $1,000 for your game day payday. Coming up at 10 after the hour.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Welcome back to Open Mic. I am Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog. Sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by co-host Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, and of course executive producer Kelly Velez, the smooth operator.
Yes, sir.
Together we are Open Mic, Orlando's only local morning sports drive time radio show. And we appreciate you joining us on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740. You can also find us on HD Radio 101.1-2. You can watch us live and in color right now if you want on social media. That's right. Yeah, we're not on that Chinese social media site like John Cena, but we are on good all-American YouTube, all right? If you go to YouTube, YouTube's probably owned by China as far as I know. Anyway, You go to YouTube, search for Open Mic Live Stream, and there we are. Your next chance to win $1,000. That's coming up at 8:10 a.m. this morning. We call it the Game Day Payday, and it is brought to you by International Diamond Center. You want to know who performed like a diamond last night? My Tampa Bay Lightning getting it done. Give me some highlights from the Lightning closing out the Florida Panthers last night.
But you can get a good rebound for your line mate if you hit the far pad.
Set it up in front. They score! Pat Maroon on the doorstep. And it's 1-0. It's Tampa Bay. Kucherov hangs on. Up top to Evan Stamkos. One-timer. Scores! Steven Stamkos rips it. Power play goal. And it's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Nikita Kucherov, high slide for point. Cutting in front. Holds. Shoots. Oh my Lord! Brayden Point! Brayden Point! It's 3-0 Lightning! It's another shutout in an elimination game for Andrei Vasilevsky.
Wow.
Just like in the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6. Tonight, 29 saves. The Lightning beat the Panthers 4-0 in Game 6. They win the series 4-2, and they are on to the second round.
On to the second round. Well, they will play the winner of the Carolina Hurricanes at Nashville Predators series. You just heard Andrei Vasilevsky. All right, Adam, I'm going to dial up a cliche right now. Let me dial the cliche. Give me the cliche for how Andrei Vasilevsky played in goal last night. What was he doing?
He was standing on his head.
That's right. He was standing on his head, wasn't he?
Hey, look at us, fair weather. Wasn't it 2 days ago we were lauding the guy who got his first start, gave up the first goal, and then shut him out the rest of the way through? And we're like, could this be the turn of fortune?
Yeah.
Vasilevsky says, no. No. You had your moment.
Goalie.
That's it.
I'm the hot goalie.
Yeah, you're not the hot goalie. I'm the hot goalie.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, I'm the captain now.
In the NBA last night, this is certainly the year of the old guy. We saw it with Phil Mickelson. We saw it with Tom Brady. And now Derrick Rose, the old guy last night, he scores 26 points to lead the New York Knickerbockers. Kelly Velez's New York Knickerbockers to a 101-92 victory over the Hawks last night. All right, give me some of your old guy, Derrick Rose.
Rose backs up Collins near the corner. Crossover. Gets free. In the paint. Push shot. It's good. Derrick Rose from the middle of the blue paint. Now at 26. Knicks lead 93-91.
Talk about a great midseason acquisition. Woo!
Wow. That series is now tied 1-1, but it was dicey for a while. Julius Randle, by the way, was absolutely miserable in the first half last night. He was 0 for 6 with just 2 points. Of course, he was just named the NBA's most improved player. Well, he improved dramatically in the second half. He finished with 15 points, 12 rebounds, although he didn't shoot well. Second straight game, he did not shoot well. Are you concerned about Julius Randle? Is he turning back into the frog right before our eyes?
The frog. Julius Randle, I think he'll get it together eventually, just settling into his jump shot. You saw him in that second half. He really did a good job at finding what he needed to do to get points on the board. Even just giving other people opportunities. I feel like he didn't do that in the first game. And then you have, Derrick Rose playing out of his mind. But in my opinion, the Knicks don't have the ball movement that they should have, especially against a team like Trae Young's Hawks, where they can light the fire real quick, man. You see Trae, he pulled up from logo in like the first quarter, and I'm like, okay, this is not looking good. But down the stretch, they got it together, and I think it's going to be a great series still, but I'm still a little shaky, guys. I'm shaky.
Yeah, Trae Young scores 30 points for Atlanta last night. In other games, Donovan Mitchell wanted to make up for lost time. Of course, he's been gone with that sprained ankle. He returns last night, scores 25 points as the Utah Jazz beat Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies 141-129, despite the fact that Ja Morant scored 47, as I just said. Wow. Give me some Donovan Mitchell from last night.
Donovan's got the basketball. He crosses over Brooks. He drives the lane. He goes to the window. He lays it up. It twirls around and around and around, and it finally goes in. And Utah's going to even the series in a game apiece.
I mean, not bad for somebody that hasn't played in, like a month and change?
Yeah, they even the series one apiece. Even though the Grizzlies lost, can you give me a Ja Morant highlight from last night? You have one of those?
Anderson to Morant. On an alley-oop, he flushes it home with a reverse jam. Morant with a 40-piece.
How good is that guy? I read a stat this morning. He now ranks second to George Mikan for most points in his first 2 career playoff games. Mikan had 75 in what year was it, Adam Reardon? 1949.
Oh, I was going to say 51, but
1949. All right.
I think he got
Ja
that franchise record for most points in a playoff game last night as well for the Grizzlies.
Yes. Second youngest player to score more than 45 points in a playoff game behind who? The great LeBron James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that series is tied. The 76ers, they take a 2-0 lead on the Wizards last night, 120-95. They win that game last night. Ben Simmons was a beast last night. He had 22 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Give me a little Ben Simmons from last night.
Simmons coming right down the court and dunks it on Westbrook and Beal. Ben Simmons with 16 first-half points.
Okay, so
Ben Simmons getting buckets, Russell Westbrook getting buckets of popcorn.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Russell Westbrook. Yeah, his Russell Westbrook got an assist last night from who? Orville Redenbacher. That's who. Again, we shouldn't be laughing because it was outrageous. It was disgusting what happened. Russell Westbrook gets hurt last night, rolls his ankle in the fourth quarter. He's limping off the court, all right? And a Philly fan, wouldn't you know it would be in Philly, a Philly fan dumps a bucket of popcorn on his head. Russell Westbrook absolutely loses it. Had to be controlled by security people, had to be restrained by Wizards people as well. And again, the guy who tossed the popcorn's lucky that they restrained Russell Westbrook, or he would have been killed, all right? Because Russell Westbrook was livid. Here was Russell Westbrook talking about it after the game.
Unfortunately, I was leaving out, and then I just felt popcorn on top of my head, and to be blatantly honest, man, just getting out of hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do. It's out of pocket, man. It's out of pocket. Seriously, like any other setting, I'm all for the fans enjoying the game and having fun, and it's part of sports. I get it, but there's certain things that cross the line. And any other setting, I know for a fact that fans and they wouldn't come up, and a guy wouldn't come on the street and pour popcorn on my head because he know what happened. A guy wouldn't come up to me and
that's good.
talk
That's
mess
good
about
right
my
there.
kid.
That's good.
Yep.
That's what bothers me about. And again, this is a major vast minority of sports fans. But I've been in a lot of arenas in my life. All right, I'm usually in the press box, but I'll go in the stands as I'm going down to interview athletes, and I hear the heckling, and that's what bothers me. That sports fans, and it's not just tossing popcorn, all right, or tossing debris onto the playing surface, all right. Sports fans, there are some who think that the cost of that ticket allows them to not just do anything they want, say anything they want. As Russell Westbrook just said, where else would, out in public, is anybody going to dump a bucket of popcorn on you? Out in public, is anybody else going to curse at you and, talk about your family right there in front of you so you can hear it? I mean, to me, the actions of some of these sports fans is as he said, it's out of control. out of control. And I think fans should be tossed out of games, not just for throwing popcorn, but for throwing slurs, obviously racial slurs, but also just some of the disgusting, profane things that come out of fans' mouth. I hate it.
And remember,
I hate it.
We were discussing something similar yesterday about people saying, racist things at the Celtics game, and you were the one, Mike, like, oh, why do people do that nowadays? You have cameras and all that. People don't care, man. They get lively. I'm surprised nobody's talking about that situation with Trae Young where it looked like a fan who was in the front row spat on him while he was inbounding the ball. Even the woman that was in front of him, courtside, had to move out the way because he literally spat at him while he was inbounding the ball. These fans are out of control.
Those are things that if Trae Young feels that or somebody else thought they saw that and they notify with cameras nowadays, I feel like they should be able to catch that stuff and deal with that appropriately. Russell Westbrook hit it right on the head. He goes, I understand that there's some things that we're going to have to listen to being athletes in the world of sports if we're going to help be financed by fans in the building. Hey, you suck, boo, you're the worst player ever. He goes, but things are crossing the line now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the disrespect of the popcorn being one of them. And then he mentioned right before we cut it off something about my kids and stuff like that. There are certain lines, and you know what those lines are. You know what those lines are. And the minute you cross over those, he's exactly right. The reason why that guy dumped popcorn on him is because he was like 15 rows away, and he's 100% sure that if Westbrook gets upset, 6 of those guys down there are going to hold him back. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the street, that never happens. Never, ever happens.
No. Let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
You feel that?
I can feel it.
We're about to blast off.
Just hook it to my veins!
It's time for the blast.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the blast, brought to you by Frank Gay Services. When you have a plumbing or electrical problem, you need help now. Go to frankgayservices.com. Starting it all off with the open mic thought-provoking daily poll. In the
Kelly, why don't you start it off with the open mic supplemental poll number 3?
Let's do it. Open mic supplemental poll number 3. Should the Philly fan who dumped popcorn on injured Washington Wizards superstar Russell Westbrook as he limped off the court last night be banned for life? Yes! Ban him for life or nope?
Absolutely. Yes. Ban him for life. I don't care if he's a long-time season ticket holder. You start dumping things on players as they're leaving the court, especially injured players as they're leaving the court. And I'll tell you what, this fan, he's not been identified yet, although he was ejected from the arena last night. LeBron James put out a tweet last night. LeBron James says, we want to know who this fan is. If this fan has a job that, this guy could get fired from his job for what he did last night. Absolutely, he should be banned for life from the arena.
Well, I'm watching him being escorted as we speak from the arena, so I'm sure that somebody got some information, your ID or whatever, just so we can keep you out of the building for the next couple games. How about this? Keep him out of the building for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that to me is the least. Do I want the guy to get fired from his job and have his kids going, Dad, where we're going to eat next? I know, but I think he loses the privilege. There's no question. There's no question. But I think he should lose the privilege of taking his kid to ball games anymore. But
did he have his kid there?
Well, no, I'm just saying in the future.
Okay.
I mean, but there's still he's got Phillies games, Flyers games, the Union. I mean, there's plenty of games he could take his kid to. Just no longer 76er games.
Hey, son, watch me dump popcorn on Russell Westbrook's head. Oh, Dad.
Listen, if you do that at an Eagles game, they may give you VIP seating.
And privilege is the perfect word that you said there too, Adam.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be at these games.
With 73% of the vote, of course, yes, ban him for life wins that one, folks. Open mic thought-provoking daily poll in the wake of the announcement that Tom Brady will team up with fellow, was it Foggy? What is this?
Foggy.
Phil Mickelson. It was a little foggy.
Foggy.
With fellow Foggy Phil Mickelson in an exhibition golf match against Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. Do you think Rodgers is bothered by Brady's social media taunts? Yes or no?
He did take a couple of shots on social media at Aaron Rodgers and the fact that, in fact, one of the things he wrote on Instagram when this match was announced, Brady and Brady and Mickelson versus Rodgers and DeChambeau. He wrote 2 champions against a scientist and a Jeopardy host. All right. So he took a couple of shots at Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers is feeling really sensitive right now. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like the type of guy. He's sort of arrogant and aloof. He doesn't seem like the guy who would take a joke very well. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I'm going to say he's a little upset.
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers is not bothered. Though I think that if you or I tweeted at him, if he would respond to us, wouldn't like it. But I think that there's probably a pretty tight-knit fraternity of great NFL quarterbacks. That these guys are sort of on that same, that he doesn't mind ribbing from Tom Brady.
Right.
If this came from some media member was ripping on him or something like, I don't think he'd like that. But I think that these are 2 rich, successful quarterbacks who have dated nothing but hot women in their life. I mean, these guys are like twin brothers, really. They're like stepbrothers. I mean, you think he wants to be
ribbed by the guy who eliminated him from the playoffs last year when he was the MVP? I don't think so, Adam Reardon.
He's the MVP.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know where he's at right now, Aaron Rodgers?
He's like in Mexico or something,
he's
like with like a Hawaii
right
with a hot chick.
If you think he cares about Tom Brady trolling him right now while he's all out there with his wife and Miles Teller, the actor, and all that, no.
Why did everybody else take part in all of this trash talking yesterday? I don't think Aaron Rodgers even took part in any of it, did he?
Mike, did you just not hear? He's on vacation in Hawaii with a hot chick.
He doesn't have his phone out checking social media.
Maybe he doesn't, Mike. Maybe he doesn't.
With 67% of the vote, no, he does not care about the taunting from TB12.
Adam Reardon, you're in the Caribbean islands posting on Facebook for crying.
Yeah, but that's I'm not with my significant other. If I'm with my significant other, nice romantic island, believe me.
Listen,
the lights.
Open mic supplemental poll number 1. Do you agree with Bryson DeChambeau that he is living rent-free inside of the head of Brooks Koepka? Absolutely yes or nope?
I'm going to go absolutely no, because I think this has all been plotted out by the PGA Tour. I think the whole leaked video over the weekend where Brooks Koepka's rolling his eyes when Bryson DeChambeau comes by and he's cursing at Bryson DeChambeau, and then all the stuff that happened on social media yesterday with this golf match. I think this is all orchestrated. I think golf is trying to start a rivalry because ratings are down, all right? They want a rivalry in their sport, and what better rivalry than the 2 hulking golfers, Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau?
No, I don't believe that this is orchestrated. I believe it's an organic rivalry that was created because of a disagreement, and you got a couple of stubborn alpha males out there that turn it into a rivalry. And I think that the PGA Tour recognizes, hey, we may have something here. And so instead of squelching this thing, getting these guys to kiss and make up and pulling them in the office saying, hey, we're not gonna do this, guys. Calm down. This is not our brand. This is not what we do with the PGA. This is not MMA. They're going, hey, the younger crowd's kind of digging this.
So the ratings are up.
Okay, all right, you guys. Bryson, you're not going to believe what I heard Brooks say about you last week. I do believe that the PGA Tour is more than happy at this moment to have.
They are ecstatic. They are giddy. They are giddy about this.
Yeah, I mean, finally, they've got a rivalry that may matter. Remember all the rivalries we tried to make with Tiger Woods, and then he just blew those guys off the map?
Yeah.
Listen, with 71% of the vote, absolutely yes, he's living rent-free in his mind. Open mic supplemental poll number 2. Do you believe Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence when he says he's excited, quote-unquote, to have Tim Tebow on the team, yes or no?
Of course he is. Who doesn't want Timothy Richard Tebow on the team? As Trevor Lawrence said,
3 other tight ends. 3 other tight ends.
Besides those guys. As Trevor Lawrence said so eloquently yesterday, there's not a player out there with more character who works harder than Tim Tebow. This is the kind of influence you want in your locker room. All right, Trevor Lawrence probably grew up idolizing Tim Tebow when Tim Tebow was with the University of Florida. Trevor Lawrence, we've determined, he's from the South, which means he's from the Bible Belt, which means he's probably a Christian, which means he also looks up to Tebow for that. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence loves having Timothy Richard Tebow on the team.
Oh, who would have thought?
Let me hit you with 2 tweets that we've gotten today. One from Gator Rob 407 says that Adam is a real hater. Okay, which is not true. This is fake news. And then, but Matt actually brings up a great point. He says, I think Trevor is too young to really remember watching Tebow play in college. So the idea that Trevor grew up idolizing Tim Tebow, he may be too young for that. The Tebow that he knew was in the NFL, and that guy wasn't very good.
Nah, how old would Trevor Lawrence have been? He would have been like 7 or 8, maybe?
Yeah, 7 or 8.
7 or 8?
Idolizing Tim Tebow from the state of Georgia. That guy, he's probably from the state of Georgia idolizing like DJ Shockley is who he was idolizing at that time. Yeah.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, listen, I'm calling BS now. Yes. No, this
okay. All right.
No, he doesn't believe that.
You got me.
He's saying all the right things. Saying it. Thank you, Matt, by the way. That wasn't my research. That was Matt's research.
Nailed me on that one.
And with 68% of the vote, they say yes, absolutely. He is excited to have Tim Tebow on the team. Open mic supplemental poll number 4. Now that Tua has grown a beard, okay, will we see hair-raising improvement from him this season? Or will he get better by just a whisker, huh? I see what you did there.
See what I did there. Yeah, I'm going to go...
Hair-raising improvement or better by a whisker?
I'm going to go hair-raising improvement by Tua this year. He's got the new look. He's got the beard. That means he's going to be tougher. I'm going to go Tua gets better, hair-raisingly better this year.
I remember last year when they took Fitzpatrick out, I definitely felt like fans would want a fade on site, if you will. See what I did there? I did fade.
I like that, yes.
Yeah, he'll get a little bit better. I mean, listen, he's got to, so you got to get a little bit better at the very least, my man.
Listen, you got to learn the playbook, bro. 65% of the vote goes to better by a whisker, okay? Open mic, would you rather poll? Would you rather reach your ideal weight or reach your ideal salary?
Well, first of all, I've already got my ideal weight because I stay in shape. I work out.
Let's go, Mike.
I'm sculpted. So obviously my ideal salary, which is much more than it is right now. So I'm going to go ideal salary.
I'm definitely going my ideal salary. And that's not even a multiple, because if you multiply my salary now, it still stays the same. It's unbelievable.
With 65%.
I'd like to 1,000x my salary.
With 65% of the vote, reach your ideal salary wins that one, folks. You know that's the blast brought to you by Frank A. Services. A live operator is waiting for you, and a licensed plumber is ready to help today with a solution to your problems fast. And you know that's the Frank Gay way. FrankAServices.com.
Brandon Kravitz coming your way right after we give you a chance to win $1,000 right now.
Now, here's your
Brandon Kravitz. He is the host of In the Zone every afternoon right here on this very station, FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740. He's also the program director. He's also my colleague. He's the guy who helped me get this show started many years ago. He's also, Brandon Kravitz, we taped something the other day on TV, all right, where they had we won't reveal what it was, but they had a teleprompter there, all right? And we were reading something off the teleprompter. Kravitz, I'm telling you, first of all, I'm damn good reading off the teleprompter, all right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this right now. I think both you and I could be sports TV guys. If you have a teleprompter there, what the hell's so hard about that?
Oh, I know. I mean, we do this every day for 3 hours with really very little, some notes in front of us. But the majority of what we say is just the thoughts that enter our minds. Yeah, I mean, I love that. The mindless nature of, let me just put a little personality into the words that are in front of me. Everything goes dark. So, you don't have the nerves of, even though we had like 15 people watching us, it's like, whatever, I'm just talking to a screen with words on it. I'm doing very little thinking. I don't mean to bury all the TV people out there, but you have it easy. And then you just go play golf for 9 hours. Yeah. Give me that job.
All right, you are also a member of the Orlando Magic radio broadcast team. You've been to many NBA games. We saw what happened with Russell Westbrook last night when he was limping off the court. A fan in Philly dumped some popcorn on top of his head. Russell Westbrook loses his mind. The fan gets ejected. Who knows what's going to happen with this? The guy's probably going to be banned for life. I'm talking about the fan. And this happens every so often, whether it's a fan uttering a racial slur or a fan saying something he shouldn't say or doing something he shouldn't do. What gets into the fan's mind that makes them think that this is okay?
One of them is probably beer. One of the things that Russell Westbrook said, which is true, when people are, you wouldn't come up to me on the street and do this. Well, you probably wouldn't be drunk on the street either, unless you're in a crowded downtown at night at 2 a.m. or something like that. Also, people aren't really eating a lot of popcorn on the street either. So that you probably would. Maybe at the movie theater, this is something that might happen. But I think that's part of it. You have the alcohol. And then think about it like this. There's sort of this group. Guys become dumber the more people that are around them. I think it's just natural. Where individuals are smart. I think people individually are intelligent creatures, but when you get them in a group setting with alcohol, with sports in Philadelphia, all of a sudden it takes a smart guy and makes him really, really stupid. So what that fan did, it's inexcusable. He should have been kicked out. He shouldn't ever be allowed back. That kind of stuff should not be allowed. I've been courtside many games thanks to my relationship with the Magic. I've seen a lot of dumb things happen. I've never seen anybody throw popcorn at anybody, but plenty of foul things said. And you just look, and the guy that does it is always drunk, or the girl. It's not a guy-girl thing. At the same time, though, Russell Westbrook almost lost his damn mind over popcorn. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that there's a level of disrespect there, but he's the bad guy. I'll put my wrestling hat on. He's the heel in this situation on the road. You got hit with popcorn, man. Like, it's not that big of a deal for him. You as an entertainer, I think you should be used to this to some degree, even though it's not okay. It's up to security to handle it. But Russell Westbrook acted like he was going to go into the stands, like he was Ron Artest. It's just, it's an overreaction. Or at least Artest got hit with a drink.
But you've got that popcorn on, you got the butter, it makes your head all nasty.
I will agree. It depends on the butter count. Like, if there were a lot of pumps of butter on that popcorn, I'm more upset over that. If it's just popcorn, like, I might not even notice if I get hit with popcorn. It's so soft.
By the way, and again, I've already been called an old fuddy-duddy yesterday when I brought this up. But this is why I don't think fans should be allowed to storm the golf course or storm the basketball court or storm the football field. A lot of these fans, as you mentioned, are drunk at games. Do you really want them right there on the floor or the course with the athletes themselves? You're just asking for trouble. Absolutely.
I'm not, even though I am probably 25 years younger than you, something around there. I completely agree with you. I don't think that's a place for fans. It makes for a really cool photo. This weekend, everybody got caught up in the moment of watching Phil go through the crowd. That's great for one person, maybe Phil Mickelson. Everybody else, I mean, the drunk fans that enjoyed it, I can't imagine everybody in that crowd really wanted to be part of that fray. When you watch court storming, it looks great on SportsCenter the next morning. I'm telling you right now, if I'm sitting in section 115 and somebody starts running past me because they want to get on the court, I will elbow you in the face. I mean, that is just, it's not proper behavior. Why do we even allow this? We're not at the end of a movie running up to the screen and tearing it down. I don't know why people can't act right. Slap your hands together like a normal person, say whoop whoop or something, and then move on with your day. People are ridiculous.
All right, so I want to get your opinion on this. So after it was announced yesterday that Brady and Mickelson were going to team up for this golf exhibition match against Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau, Tom Brady just gets on social media yesterday. He begins taunting Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. Had some funny memes up. One of the things he wrote on Instagram, 2 champions against a scientist and a Jeopardy host. Is it just me? And again, you're on social media much more than I am. Has Brady loosened up since he got to Tampa? Or has he always been a factor on social media? Has he always been funny?
He hasn't always been, but it was when he got a Twitter account, and I can't remember when exactly he started that, but the day he started up his Twitter account, which wasn't that long ago, he's only been on Twitter for maybe 3 years at the most. He was just a funny guy on Twitter right away. He's one of the best follows on Twitter. He's hysterical. I don't think it's just a Tampa thing, but clearly he has loosened up. Things are just different in the way that he seems to approach. I mean, you just go back to the boat, him throwing the Lombardi trophy. That's not something that he would have done in New England. But in Tampa, he does it, and he laughs and stumbles off the boat after the fact. So he clearly feels more comfortable in his own skin today, but I don't know if that's just exclusive to Tampa. I think it's Twitter. He suits that social media platform really, really well, and he plays it like a fiddle. Remember when he trolled everybody a few years ago? It really started with that. There was that picture that he put out of him walking out of the tunnel or something that. Yeah. He got everybody riled up. He had so much fun with that. And ever since that, he's really been somebody, somewhat of a savant on Twitter where he just knows how to play people.
Wasn't that, though, a paid advertisement because it turned into an ad for Hulu, I believe?
Yeah, exactly. But that was something that, he clearly signed off on. Tom Brady is a brand, and he's not going to do that unless he goes, oh, that's funny. Let's do that. And you can put money in my pocket while it happens.
Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, I think he should change his nickname from TB12 to TB Troll because he's become a real Twitter troll.
When you have 7 Super Bowls, you can troll whoever you want.
All right, what do we have on In the Zone this afternoon?
By the way, Tom Brady and I have something in common. We've both touched the Lombardi trophy.
And I. Yes,
and Bianchi, that's right.
Yeah, we got to see the Lombardi trophy.
Wait, you guys touched it?
Yep.
Maybe.
We weren't supposed to, but we did.
No, we did. We did touch it, Adam. That did happen. I can confirm.
I was going to say, I don't think that they wanted people to touch it, you two.
They don't. They actually said don't do that, but come on. You're standing in front. We're standing next to this thing for 15 minutes, and somebody tells you don't touch it. What do you think you're going to do?
These 2 adults treated the Lombardi trophy like my 2 11-year-olds did a piece of priceless artwork at MoMA when we went to New York City. Literally couldn't keep their hands off of it, and that security guard I thought was going to kill me.
You want to guarantee someone touches something, say don't touch it.
Yep.
The only time I ever interviewed Muhammad Ali in person, it was a mass interview in a hotel lobby. All right. This was long ago in Tampa. And I'm standing there with Muhammad Ali and a bunch of other writers. And I just reached out and I touched him because I just wanted to touch greatness.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and I did that with Herschel Walker as well in an elevator. Yeah.
There you go. Mike's just walking around touching famous people. This is great.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike, this afternoon on In the Zone is an afternoon nap because for me at least, UCF baseball on this afternoon at 3. So I have my afternoon freed up. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be saying all types of ridiculous things at Brandon Kravitz. Thank you.
He'll be tweeting about that UCF baseball game this afternoon. He'll be breaking it down on Twitter. UCF playing Memphis, I believe. 3 p.m. you said is the first.
That is correct. Mark Daniels on the call, who you'll be talking to, I imagine, in a matter of moments. But we will be back on the air to close out the week on Friday at 3 o'clock.
Have a good afternoon, Krabs. We'll talk to you